So that's the sort of high level picture. And I will say that, you know, as I think about giving a how-to talk and holding a cohort, it's, you know, it's a lot of kind of mistakes made and lessons learned. We clearly did not do everything right all at the beginning, and we've learned a lot of ways to fix things. So, so one of the challenges that of course, we recruited everyone from the greater Boston area, and they were all within local distance when the cohort started, but people move all around the country. And so one of our greatest challenges has been that we want to maintain the cohort and we want to keep them going however we can. So, you know, we need to go find them. And we started a Viva Across America program where we actually do study visits in the pre-COVID era, of course, and hopefully we'll get back to at some point, going to sort of high density places like Seattle and Northern and Southern California, Texas. We've had RAs go to Florida. We had one RA willing to take advantage of her vacation at Las Vegas and do a study visit with the one participant who was there. So really being creative in how we can not only you know, continue to maintain the cohort remotely and also use the more advanced tools that we have for remote data collection to maintain them even if we can't see them in person. This is really not a research talk, so I'm really not going to talk about the wonderful breadth of research that we've done over this time. We have well over 250 publications, I think, by now, but just to make the point that the interesting questions evolve over time. And so, of course, now we're interested in COVID. That wasn't even something anyone was thinking about a year ago. And those kinds of things continually evolve. And so we need to be flexible and innovative as we write our next grant and design our next questionnaire. I would say the biggest challenge has really been, you know, something that works for retention and maintaining interest in a cohort of moms with young infants is very different than we need to do to maintain a population of young adults and older adolescents. And so kind of as our children become adults and can consent and decide whether or not to participate themselves has really created a lot of challenge for us. It helps that many of our study staff at this point aren't that much older than our participants. And so they, I think, can really provide some good suggestions to us. And we've also asked our participants what they want us to do, and I'll show some of those data. We have a tremendous breadth of data from all of these measures on all these people over all of these time points, and organizing and sort of remembering where the data are, accessing it, and making it clear and available to people who want to use our data is an ongoing challenge. And then, of course, just in the current context of COVID, but there have been other challenges, maybe not quite as large, but we and many others have had to kind of shut down research. And so how can we get creative about still maintaining our cohort by remote measures and engaging participants in the kinds of questions that we answer? Of course, we do provide incentives, and we think that this isn't the main reason that people participate, but they, I think it helps. And so our cohort maintenance has followed sort of we followed a variety of approaches. When the kids were, when the moms were pregnant, as study incentives, we gave them socks that had the study logo on the sole of the sock, so that when they went to the delivery room, the clinician delivering them would remember that they were a study participant and collect cord blood. When they were babies, we gave them baby books and board books, and now we just give them cold hard cash because that's what works best with teenagers. But we also give them feedback on some of the measures that we do. So for example, we give each of them a personalized scan of their DEXA, and for the moms that includes a reading of their bone density, which is helpful clinically. We maintain a cohort with regular newsletters, ongoing emails, and we have a website that we are trying to keep up to date to really promote active engagement. And as I mentioned, we really have had to adapt the way we do study, not only in sort of flying around and doing study visits around the country, but also how we communicate with people. You know, even email is just not something that adolescents do. And so we move to text, we move to other platforms to maintain participation and contact, and really keeping up to date with our consent. So we've gone from paper consent to now e-consent so that we can get appropriate informed consent even for people who are remote. So this is just an example of a project that we did to try to really understand what is keeping people engaged in the cohort. And it's been so interesting to hear from the participants themselves, who are really the most important voice. And it was nice to know that they really were mostly engaged around altruism. So both the moms and the teams, the primary reasons for engagement were wanting to help science or wanting to be part of something important. I would say the kids were a little more likely to answer that they were participating because they were reimbursed. And in a, you know, so we've gotten some quantitative measures, but also qualitative measures of really what is helpful. So it's all about participating in the science and the sort of time invested. The interesting thing also is that we're so worried that we're just asking too much of them, but most of them answered that the amount of time that we ask is actually about right, or even maybe not enough. So that's very reassuring to us. So learning from the comments has really been quite informative. And then our favorite feedback on a recent survey that we got where we asked for any other comments was a participant who said, "You guys are doing a great job. You deserve a tall glass of lemonade and a ginger cookie."